Recent developments on Putin's warning to Europe ahead of Trump Envoys meeting. On December 2nd, 2025, Russian President Vladimir Putin issued a stark warning to European leaders just hours before hosting a marathon 5-hour meeting at the Kremlin with U.S. President Donald Trump's special envoy Steve Witkoff and Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner. The talks, which extended past midnight Moscow time, focused on brokering a potential peace deal to end the nearly 4-year war in Ukraine, but yielded no breakthrough, according to Kremlin and U.S. officials. Putin's remarks appear designed to pressure European allies of Ukraine, while signaling Russia's stance to the incoming Trump administration. Key details of Putin's warning. Speaking to reporters at the VTB Russia Calling Investment Forum in Moscow, Putin accused European governments of deliberately sabotaging U.S.-led peace efforts by proposing absolutely unacceptable changes to Trump's Ukraine plan. He claimed these alterations were intended to completely block the entire peace process and position Russia as the obstacle to negotiations. Core threat. We are not planning to go to war with Europe, but if Europe wants to and starts, we are ready right now, Putin stated. He added that any such conflict would end so swiftly and decisively that there would be no one left for Russia to negotiate with. Context on Europe. Putin specifically criticized NATO members for calls to allow Ukraine to strike deeper into Russian territory, framing them as warmongers without a peaceful agenda. He reiterated that Russia views European demands, such as full Ukrainian territorial restoration, as non-starters, additional escalation hint. In response to Ukrainian drone strikes on Russia's Shadow Fleet tankers in Black Sea, Putin threatened to sever Ukraine's access to the sea entirely, potentially targeting vessels from countries aiding Kiev. These comments came amid heightened tensions, with Russian forces controlling about 19% of Ukraine, up slightly from 2 years ago, and advancing at their fastest pace since 2022, per pro-Ukrainian tracking maps. The Kremlin meeting, no compromise reached attendees. Putin was joined by his foreign policy aide Yuri Ushakov and investment envoy Kirill Dmitriev. The U.S. side included interpreters, and the group exchanged pleasantries. Witkoff reportedly complimented Moscow as a magnificent city after a pre-meeting stroll on Red Square. Duration and outcome. The closed-door session lasted over 5 hours, with Trump later describing the Ukraine situation as a mess and noting monthly casualties of 25,000 to 30,000. Ushakov called the talks positive, but emphasized a compromise is yet to be found, and there's still a lot of work to be done before a potential Trump-Putin summit. Sticking points. Russia demands Ukraine cede full control of the Donbass region, a non-negotiable for Moscow, but alarming for Europe, which fears it rewards aggression. European modifications to Trump's plan, e.g., no territorial concessions, were dismissed by Putin as deliberate roadblocks. Trump has positioned the plan as a quick resolution, threatening major sanctions if Russia doesn't comply within 50 days, though Kremlin officials dismiss this as ineffective given Russia's immunity to prior measures. Next steps include Witkoff and Kushner meeting Ukraine's lead negotiator Rustem Umerov in Miami on December 4th. Reactions and broader implications from Ukraine and Europe. Ukrainian Foreign Minister Andriy Sybiha accused Putin of not being ready to end the war and urged him to stop wasting the world's time. UK Foreign Secretary Yvette Cooper called for Putin to end the bluster and the bloodshed and support a just and lasting peace. European leaders worry Trump's approach could force Kiev into concessions, emboldening Russia against NATO. From Russia, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov rejected claims that Putin outright refused the U.S. plan, calling such reports not correct. A Russian source described the Trump efforts as the best chance for peace since early 2022 talks collapsed at U.S. Perspective. Trump expressed optimism, saying the envoys returned confident that Putin wants to find an end to the war. This follows a Trump-Putin summit in Alaska in August 2025 and meetings with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, who stressed that our people are dying every day and called for fair play. Related media coverage. A CNN segment titled, "Hear Putin's Warning to Europe Before Meeting with Trump Envoys for 5 Hours," uploaded December 3rd, 2025. Features analysis of the remarks and meeting, highlighting the lack of progress on a Ukraine deal. The video has circulated widely on platforms like YouTube and X, formerly Twitter, with users sharing alongside debates on the war's escalation risks. This episode underscores ongoing divisions. Trump pushes for a rapid deal. Europe prioritizes Ukraine's sovereignty, and Russia leverages military gains to demand concessions. As of December 4th, 2025, no further meetings are confirmed, but the Miami talks could signal momentum or impasse. Historical context: from early 2022 talks to Trump's 2025 push. The Ukraine war, now in its fourth year, began with Russia's full-scale invasion in February 2022. Early peace efforts, such as Istanbul talks in March-April 2022, collapsed over irreconcilable demands. Russia sought recognition of annexed territories, Crimea, Donbass, while Ukraine and its Western allies insisted on full territorial restoration and security guarantees. Fast forward to 2025. With Trump back in office, he's prioritized a quick fix to the conflict, viewing it as a drain on U.S. resources. This led to an August 2025 Trump-Putin summit in Alaska, where initial outlines of a 28-point peace plan were sketched. Subsequent show diplomacy by Trump's envoys, including real estate developer Steve Witkoff, special envoy for Ukraine/Middle East, and Jared Kushner, informal advisor leveraging his prior Russia ties from the 2016 to 2020 era. Weekend meetings in Florida with Ukrainian officials to trim the plan to 20 points, incorporating some European input before the Moscow trip. Putin's December 2nd warning isn't isolated. It's part of Kremlin strategy to exploit perceived cracks in the U.S.-Europe alliance, especially as Trump has criticized NATO's spending and hinted at reducing U.S. commitments. Russia controls 19% of Ukraine, 115,600 square kilometers, with 2025 advances, e.g. near Pokrovsk, marking the fastest gain since 2022, per Institute for the Study of War Maps. This military momentum emboldens Moscow to demand concessions rather than compromise. Breaking down Putin's warning, rhetoric, intent, and subtext. Putin's remarks, delivered at the VTB Russia Calling Investment Forum on December 2nd, hours before the envoys arrived, were calibrated for maximum pressure. Here's a closer look. Key quotes and framing. We are not planning to go to war with Europe, but if Europe wants to and starts, we are ready right now. He emphasized speed. It would be so fast that there would be no one left for Russia to negotiate with. On NATO/EU sabotage. European proposals to Trump's plan, e.g. no territorial cessions, deeper Ukrainian strikes into Russia, were absolutely unacceptable and designed to completely block the entire peace process while blaming Russia. Broader jab. Don't have a peace agenda. They're on the side of war. Deeper dive. Putin's warning to Europe and the stalled Trump-led Ukraine peace talks.